Hello, my friends. Today we will visit some livestock farms in America to see how farmers here raise millions of cows, sheep, and goats each year. On January 1st, 2022, the U.S. Department of Agriculture said that the United States is home to about 93.8 million livestock with common types such as cattle, goats, pigs, and sheep. According to 2021 statistics, there are more than 700,000 cattle farms and feed mills across the country. It is said that, in the 40s of the last century, the first cattle began to appear on American grasslands. Their origin is from a breed of cattle in the Caribbean, introduced to America by Spanish explorers. By the 1980s, some people in Texas had collected hundreds of cattle in the wild and became the first cattle ranchers in the southwest of the United States. Therefore, the first stop on today's journey is the giant grasslands in Texas. This is the state with the most cattle in the United States, ranked second by Nebraska and third by Kansas. Each year, approximately 35.8 million cattle are born in the United States, and up to 11 million of them are born in Texas. In the morning, Texas farmers would let their cattle out to pasture so they could forage freely. According to the U.S. Bureau of Land Management, the 48 states of the continental United States have approximately 1.9 billion acres of land, and 788 million of those acres are grazing land. Texas alone has a grazing area of 130 million acres, accounting for 21% of the country's area. In one day, an adult beef cattle can eat 60.5 pounds of green grass. In addition to foraging freely on grasslands, they are also fed other foods, such as corn and grains, to increase meat quality. One survey found that the amount of corn and grain consumed by cattle in the United States could be used to feed 790 million people each year. And now, you're looking at a beef farm in Texas. Beef cattle just need good pasture, supplemental hay during the winter, fresh water, vaccinations, and plenty of room for them to roam. These 100 beef cattle can be grazed on 280 acres. When the beef cow is about 60 days old, the herd will have to go through a branding process. This is a method that uses heat. The man is using a red-hot iron bar applied directly to the cow's skin for about 20 to 30 seconds. Hot iron can cause pain for at least 8 weeks. But today, this method is no longer used so much anymore. It is considered inhumane. The most common method is using an ear tag. Next is using a tattoo. Branding helps ranchers easily identify their cattle when they get lost in another herd. Additionally, it helps track the age of cows and see when they need to be vaccinated. In addition to raising beef cattle for meat, Americans also raise cows for milk. There will be about 9.4 million dairy cows in the United States in 2022, down from about 9.45 million dairy cows in 2021. Now we're visiting a dairy farm in Wyoming County, located in western New York State. Every morning, they are released from the pens and allowed to walk freely for about 3 hours. Currently, about 150 dairy cows are grazing freely on the grasslands. The weight of a cow like this depends a lot on the breed. Adult males weigh 1,100 to 3,900 pounds, and females weigh 850 to 2,400 pounds. New York State currently has more than 3,500 dairy farms. In 2020, the state's dairy cow population stood at 625,000 cows. In a day, a cow can eat from 25,000 to 30,000 pieces of grass. After eating their fill, the cows are moved to the covered barn area. Because of the cold weather, this herd spends 3/4 of their lives living in indoor barns. Here, they are fed 7 to 15 pounds of grain a day. These cows are raised for two main purposes: milk production or processing into byproducts such as cheese and yogurt. Now we're looking at how New York farmers milk 800 cows in 3.5 hours. Most dairy cows are milked 2 to 3 times per day. On average, a cow will produce 6 to 7 gallons of milk per day. After milking, cow's milk is immediately transported to a factory about 5 kilometers from the farm to be processed into bottled milk. Milk is sterilized using specialized equipment. Then, the milk is poured into bottles. Finally, it is packaged and exported to the market. Currently, the dairy industry creates nearly 26,000 jobs in New York State. Every year, New York State produces 15,540 million pounds of milk. New York is the country's 4th largest milk producer and the country's largest producer of yogurt and cheese. Goodbye to dairy cattle farms in New York. We are now visiting a sheep farm with more than 35,000 sheep in the state of California, western United States, to see how farmers here remove wool. In the United States, there were about 5.2 million sheep as of 2021 on about 101,387 farms. About 25% of the sheep and lambs in the United States are in Texas and California. Every 3 to 4 months, workers on sheep farms will begin shearing sheep. Each sheep will have about 8 pounds of wool removed from its body in just 5 minutes. Most sheep are sheared using a shearing machine. Only the excess hair growing above the skin is removed, and the skin area is not damaged. In the United States, the average weight of a fleece removed from a sheep is more than 7 pounds. So how many sheep can a shearer shear in a day? It depends on the skill of the shearer and the size of the sheep. For shearers with more than 3 years of experience, they can shear from 200 to 400 sheep per day. Currently, the average wage for sheep shearers in New Zealand is $2 to $3 per head. In a year, they can earn an income of $65,000 to $130,000. Prices for fleece range from $10 to $17 per pound. Every year, the United States earns $42.77 million thanks to the production of wool from sheep's wool. Goodbye to the sheep in California. We are observing a herd of more than 1,040 goats in the city of Lake Geneva, Wisconsin. Currently, the United States owns 2.58 million goats. April is when grasslands thrive in Texas, and this is when goats graze outdoors. However, about 80% of a goat's diet is still hay. Each goat needs about 2 to 4 pounds of hay per day. By September, when the goats reach the weight requirement, females from 120 to 170 pounds, male goats from 150 to 200 pounds, the farmer is ready to sell the goats. Similar to cows and sheep, goats in the U.S. can be auctioned at markets. Now let's follow the ranchers moving their sheep from the feedlot to the auction or slaughterhouse. This process has never been easy. It takes a group of 25 people to move a herd of 400 sheep. The farthest distance that a herd of sheep can travel is 65 kilometers, lasting a maximum of 8 hours. We're coming to the most popular place to buy or sell livestock in America, the local livestock auction market. Goats can average up to $2.50 per pound, sheep $2.20 per pound, and cows about $2.85 per pound. Most beef in Texas are considered fully mature and eligible for eating when they are 2 to 3 years old. The U.S. Department of Agriculture estimates that 36 million cattle, sheep, and goats are slaughtered for food every day. This 973,000 square foot meat processing plant in Tar Heel, North Carolina, is said to be the largest in the world with 50,200 employees. Each year, America can produce an average of 149 million pounds of lamb, 2 million pounds of goat meat, and 27.17 billion pounds of beef. U.S. beef has been exported to 122 different countries, notably Japan, China, and Korea. Beef, lamb, and goat produced in America are considered the highest quality and most flavorful in the world. How do you feel when enjoying dishes made from meat raised on large farms in the United States? How do they taste? Please comment below this video. At this point, The journey to discover the process of raising cattle, sheep, and goats in America has ended. Goodbye, and see you again.